All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the first ever edition of Coach's Corner, as you could see above us with the cool little title. My name is Dan Federico, representing the College of Mount St. Vincent Sports Department. The whole point of this interview segment type thing we're going to be doing this summer is just give you a little background on the coaches, get a chance to meet everybody, and get a little more in-depth knowledge on what they've been through, how far they've came, and where they're at now. So, as you guys could see, my first ever inaugural guest on Coach's Corner, men's and women's volleyball coach, Courtney Bernstein. Coach, how are you during this crazy quarantine?
Good. It's been a little crazy in my house. 3 kids, 4 adults, 2 dogs. It's a lot, but we're doing good. We're surviving and just enjoying family time.
It's good to hear. Yeah, same here. It's been stressful not being on campus, everybody, but it has been good, downtime. But as we said with quarantine, I'm sure you've been in touch with your girls. Fall is a little bit up in the air. We're not really sure what's going on, but have you been in touch with them about preparing, how they've been doing mentally, how classes were going? Could you give us a little insight on how you've been communicating with them?
Yeah, definitely. We've done a couple of Google Meet hangout sessions, as you will, where I kind of hop on with the girls, give them an update on what's going on, and then let them hang out. We've been doing emails and texts. Um, they know the scenarios that we could be looking at for the fall. Obviously, we're hoping to have a regular season. If not, there's a bunch of scenarios that the conference is looking at, that the school is looking at, that NCAA is looking at. So the girls know all of those. They were amazing with doing a spring season virtually. They were sending me workouts, telling me what they were doing. They kept really in good contact with that. And for school, we did kind of weekly check-ins, just to kind of see how things were going, how classes were going, how they were handling it, their struggles with school and with kind of just being personal lives, not being on campus, and I have a couple girls who aren't from New York. They're not from local areas. So kind of keeping in touch with them about their struggles, not necessarily being able to be with their families right away. The girls have been amazing through this, as have the guys. But they're really hoping for a fall season, and they're doing everything they can to make sure that if there's some sort of season, they're ready to take the championship again.
So you've been serving as a counselor and a coach, kind of. So that's actually pretty cool over this quarantine. Getting to know them on a different level, I guess. But let's
Yeah.
let's circle back for you now. So we know, you obviously have experience playing volleyball. We know you played at the collegiate level. What is your background with the sport? How long you've been playing? And did you always want to be a coach?
So I've been playing since elementary school CYO days. And then I played 3 years in high school. I played my sophomore, junior, senior year, 2 years varsity, 1 year JV. I also played club year round all 4 years of high school. And then from there, I went to college at, one of our rival schools.
You can say
And
their name. It's okay if we don't mind.
I went to school at Mount St. Mary College. I played 4 years there. I've played every position in college. I played outside, I played right side, I played setter, I played middle. And in high school, at some point, I played libero. So I've played every position. And while I was in college, I really started to get into helping out with local club teams, just volunteer assistant coaching, or when they just needed an extra set of hands. And I've always known I wanted to coach, but it wasn't until then that I was like, this is what I want to do when I graduate. I want to coach. So once I graduated, I got into coaching at Downstate Academy, athletic, sorry, Downstate Athletic Club, and started coaching with them. I coached with them for 3 years. 2 years I was an assistant, 1 year I was a head coach. While I was there, I was also a volunteer assistant at Mount St. Mary College. So I was able to get some college experience there. Then I moved back to Long Island. I started coaching for Sport Time Volleyball Club. I coached with them for 3 years as well, I believe. And then while I was doing that, I was coaching at Kellenberg Memorial High School, which is where I went to high school. And then I was very fortunate. I moved again back upstate, and Mount St. Vincent fell into my lap. I had applied for the job. I almost came here. And so it was kind of, when I saw the job was posted, it was kind of calling my name to come back into it, and I was very fortunate to get this position.
Damn. So the coaching experience is definitely lengthy, which kind of proves why you had so much success in your first 2 years. So again, you came 2018. Now, like I said before, you are men's and women's volleyball coach. We're going to stick with women for this segment. So
That's fine.
2018 came in first season, Skyline Conference Championship. 2019, a little bit shorter season. Made it. You finished third place. Made it to the semifinals. Lost in a fantastic game against United States Merchant Marine Academy. You've had 4 all-conference players, a player of the year under your belt. What have these first 2 years been like, both as a team, coaching as a team, and then you specifically learning with this team?
I was very blessed with a program, the women's program that I inherited. It was really, the girls were ready to work when I came in. They were hungry for a championship. Some of them had experience on their freshman year, and they were itching to get another one. The freshmen, my first year in 2018, was a tremendous group of girls that I am very lucky to still have. And winning that first year was an amazing experience. If you look at our regular season and our postseason, it definitely looks like there were two different teams that year. But it was a growing process for the girls because we were very freshman heavy, and they were also adjusting to a brand new coach. We were learning each other at the same time. We were learning the program at the same time, and it all came together. Luckily, right at the right time in playoffs for us that year. And the growth that they had from that year, in that year alone, was huge. And the growth now that they're seeing from the 2019 season was huge too. That game against Merchant Marine, it was a tough loss. It was a very tough loss. But, and I say this to the girls to this day, it was such a good learning experience because that game, I mean, that fifth set went to like
Yeah.
30
Mhm.
something, which for fifth set, everyone's exhausted. And I said to the girls that it just proves how hard they can work. And now that's our catalyst for this next season is how much we have to push every single game. We can't take any rest. We have to kind of always push. And like I said, I'm very fortunate with the girls in this program, and their drive and their want to win. They want to win, and they've made my position as a head coach a lot easier because they're willing to work and they are very receptive to the different defenses and offenses that I kind of throw at them. So the learning process has definitely gone hand in hand with their learning process, and so has the growth process. So I'm very fortunate with them.
Now, like you said, being fortunate with the girls, I mean, let's think back now. Going into this year, you're going to be losing Tara Maloney, who is without a doubt the best player that this program has ever seen. You're also losing Des Brown. She's, an all-conference player last year, a very top-notch middle on the squad. But when you look back and think of, you said that freshman class that'll now be juniors. Sam Schroeder was second in kills her last 2 years behind Tara. You have Rihanna Rivera that'll step right in behind Des in the middle. Lindsay and Sarah grew year 1 to year 2. You have Madison, who was MVP of the Skyline Conference Championship game. Olivia, you have Gabrielle Maggi, Alex Rio, Sadie McDermott, senior class that have played a lot of minutes for you. Despite losing 2 big pieces, how do you think this roster is going to be going into this year with that freshman nucleus? And you could include that sophomore nucleus as well now as the junior, senior class, the upperclassmen.
It's definitely a big loss, those two. I mean, that you can't say enough about those two players, and it's definitely going to be an adjustment. But I think the girls that we currently have returning are definitely hungry, and they know that we have to make up for kind of that lost ground with Tara and Des. And I think this is going to be their shining moment. I think, they're going to be able to kind of take over and show what they have. I think they're ready for the challenge because I do think that a lot of teams are going to underestimate us since we are losing Tara and Des. And a lot of those girls who are coming up, especially in the girls who are going to be juniors, they've proven that they can be Tara and Des coming up. No one will ever replace those two, but we can have the next big things. And I definitely think we're going to see some really good things this year from everyone on the team. I think it's going to be a constant changing starting lineup. I think there's going to be a lot of subs being made because everyone on the team can be on the court, wants to be on the court, and is good enough to be on the court getting us wins and proving that people shouldn't underestimate us like they've been doing the past couple of years.
Yeah, and speaking of that class, like we said, you have a very strong nucleus, deep team as it is. But as every college team, you're going to have an incoming class of freshmen or transfers, whatever you have. So, could you just explain to everybody what your plan has been, bringing kids to step in and round out your roster and your expectations for the incoming freshmen?
Definitely while recruiting, I kept in mind that we were losing Tara and that we were losing Dez, and we definitely have a lot of really amazing hitters coming into the program. We also have a couple of passers coming in to help round out the team. I'm really excited for this recruiting class. We have a lot of girls coming in, and they're excited. They're excited. They're already kind of hanging out virtually with the girls when they can. They're texting with them. They're getting involved in the team. And so them being so invested in our program before they even get here just proves to me that we are going to have an unstoppable team this year. Like I said, we've got some passers coming in, we've got some hitters coming in, and anywhere that we might have faltered a little bit, we are definitely going to pick up with these incoming freshmen. They're, like I said, hungry. They're working so hard to make sure that they are on that court come August and September. And I think the way they're gelling with the girls already, there's no reason for us to be unstoppable this season.
And you know what? The fact that you've had these conferences and you've really got everybody together, even virtually, which is all we could really do right now, I think that's something that you really need because, as we both know, the Skyline Conference is so tough and the competition's crazy. Like we said before, United States Merchant Marine Academy, we lost them in the semifinals. They're constantly a top team. Manhattanville came in last year, their first year in the Skyline, won the championship. You have Farmingdale State, your alma mater, Mount St. Mary, St. Joe's, Long Island. It's deep. I know that, like you said, the roster, you have a lot of veterans, you have good freshmen coming in. It's still going to be tough, but what are your expectations just going into year 3?
My expectations for year 3 is to make it to the championship game again and to win. I want to make another NCAA appearance this year. I don't think there's any reason we can't. This year we had 20 some odd wins, which was a lot more than the 14 we had the season before. And I don't see a reason to be okay with just 21 wins. I want every game to be a win. My expectations are growing and they're getting higher as the years go on with this team because I'm seeing more and more potential out of them. I'm seeing what they can do. So I definitely have high expectations. It's going to definitely be a hard-working season. We're making some changes to our coaching staff with assistant coaches. We're making some changes to how practices are run, just because we need to keep evolving with the sport. We do have Merchant Marine, who's always a top team. We do have Manhattanville, who won the conference. Just to name the two that have been our biggest competition this last season. And so my expectations are to win. I expect them to beat those two teams this year, to go into the games more prepared than we've ever been, with a lot of game film watching under our belts. And, like I said, my expectations are high. I am not going to be okay with losing this season. Our goal is to win, and that is what we will do.
All right, guys, you heard it here first. High hopes, high expectations for the women's volleyball team. Coach, thank you so much for joining me. Like I said in the beginning, hope everything's well with you, quarantine. Hopefully we get back to campus soon. I'm really dying to get back with everybody. So hope, all is well with you and wish you well wishes until next time I see you.
Thank you for having me. And like you said, hopefully we'll be back on campus soon and we can all hang out.
Yeah. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.